Imagine a war just broke out. You're on one of the main two sides and everybody is dead except for you seemingly. Suddenly, somebody else, but from the different side, comes and meets you. What do you do then? I'm Insad and I saw the Twilight Zone Season 3 Episode 1, 2. It is written and directed by Montgomery Pittman. If you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. This episode follows a lady. She's wearing what clearly seems to be tattered uniform wear. There seems to be some sort of war atomic bomb thing that happened because she is the only one now. She's in a land of ruin. She's stumbling around. She's looking for food. She finds a chicken in a jar. I didn't think that was a thing, but I guess spam exists, so that could be a thing. You just gotta add a bunch of salt to it, I guess, in order to preserve it. So she starts eating the chicken. And then a man comes in. His uniform, it looks worn. He doesn't look as tattered as hers, but it's from the different side. And immediately she's like, I'm gonna rustle and tussle with you. And so they get into a rustle and tussle. She starts throwing things. His demeanor the entire time is like, hey, how's it going? Do you want to chill for a second? Do you want to be in her sides? But she doesn't speak the same language as he does. They get into a rustle tussle, then he has to knock her out, and then when he wakes up, he has to explain, hey, nobody's here. You don't have to fight anymore. But, you know, as typical fashion of a stubborn people, she's like, no, yeah. I would definitely do this if I were her, honestly. I feel like I relate. I don't know if it's a woman trait necessarily. It must be a human nature trait. It's definitely an us versus them thing you have to break for sure in order to get along with the person. Because us versus them is very, very much constructed within the human consciousness. But it's created by the human consciousness. But it's like a survival instinct. So like people who are like killing you, or you could be like, oh, I hate them, and then you get your tribe and you fight them. Instead of like a bunch of bickering between everybody in the tribe and getting bogged down in all your petty problems, you have the us versus them mentality, which has evolved for like a survivalist mentality to survive. But now there's a lot of us versus them, especially in this episode. And she's exhibiting the us versus them, like, I don't trust you. But the guy, he's like, I know that this is all the societal construct, the wars that we were fighting. It was between two political figures, and it was not between us personally. We did not personally hate each other. It was actually our leaders that were fighting and using us as pawns. And he's trying to get this to her head, but then he's like, you don't speak my language. He starts walking down to the movie theater. She starts trailing him, and that's like, okay. I guess she's interested in seeing what he's up to. I don't know if it's necessarily trust, but it's definitely curiosity on her part. They're walking down the street, and they find a movie theater, and they're looking, and they'd be like, oh, that's cute. Look at them. Look at the posters. Look at the romantic movies. Oh, look at them, right? A moment happens. They both draw their weapons on each other because they don't trust each other. They're like, you guys. The alliances were made before the Earth just got destroyed and everybody stopped living except for you two, apparently. Oh, geez, guys, stop with this us versus them thing. I get it, you guys don't trust each other, but you guys are the only ones alive now. So I like it. He's like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna go. He's like, I don't think you're gonna shoot me, so I'm just gonna walk away now. And then he finds this dress for her. And it's definitely like a token of goodwill. He finds the dress, gives it to her. She's like, I'm gonna wear it. She goes off to find a place to change, and she finds a recruitment office for not her side, but the other side. And she's like, gets really angry. And so she just like runs out and just starts shooting at him. Misses, luckily, but he's like, what? And then he just walks away. And it's like, imagine if you're her, your only companion has just gone away. He's gone. You're like, oh, I messed up. The words that come out of your mouth, in the certain way, the certain pattern, the certain structure in which the way words come out of your mouth, are languages, right? And there's different sounds, and the different sounds mean different things in different languages too. So it's hard to communicate with different tongues, people with different languages like Spanish or like Russian or something. They're not remotely similar. But what you can communicate is body language, including facial expressions. And so his disgusted look was communicated to her. He was like, ugh. And she was like, oh no, I messed up. Oh no. Well, the next day she comes back to him. He finds this little shelter with some peaches. He's like, get away! Like when he sees her and she's wearing the dress, he's like, oh, actually, I guess this is nice now. It's cute. In a strange way, this episode is adorable. I like how the woman eventually warms up to the guy, but it took the guy rejecting her for her to be like, ultimately like, oh my goodness, I actually do want to hang out with you. And she makes an effort to like come to him in the dress to show that she actually is not here to fight him anymore. She's here to hang out with him as a human being, and they can actually have some sort of connection and relationship. And how are they going to do that if they don't speak the same language, though? I don't know. I think it's just like a peaceful thing. We're not killing each other. We're not going to try to kill each other now. That's nice. I like the values. She is wearing more of a darker valued piece of clothing, and he's wearing more of a lighter valued piece of clothing. And the dress itself is a lighter value piece of clothing, and she doesn't ultimately put the dress on until after she's like, all right, I'll be peaceful now. This one definitely sticks out in my mind. What do you think about this episode? I like how he's been open and good the entire time, so his color palette changed. He hasn't changed in color palette, but he's been mostly light. And she has shifted from darker to more light to indicate that she's more trusting now. And I like that. What do you think of this? And I think everybody in this episode is a really good actor/actress, since it mostly focuses on them too. I like them. I gotta give this one, it's a solid 7.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch it all on the platform really likes that. If I haven't reviewed it on the channel, there's a chance I haven't even seen it at all, so get them Patreon requests into patreon.com/ASEPresents. $20 downloads a month for one movie review for 1 month. Also, you can help support the daily grindness by going to autisticbooze.com, so you can go here, and until next time, it's outside. I'll see you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits. Adios!